Guys, this may be the most excited I've ever been to do a collector spotlight video. This is one of my really, really good friends in the hobby. He's been a Jordan advisor to me, and right now he is a Leo Messi advisor to me. He is an all-around good guy who lives just down the street in Honduras from Louisiana. So welcome to the channel. This is going to be a great collector spotlight with the legendary, the real Rodman Martinez, who has been on an incredible journey from the tip top of the Michael Jordan mountaintop to the tip top of the Messi card collecting mountaintop. Hopefully you enjoy the video. If you've got a bunch of unwanted inventory that you've been sitting on for days, weeks, months, years, ship it to Fanatics Marketplace and let them do all the work. Just make sure when you ship it, you use the promotional code CAJUN, all capital letters, C-A-J-U-N. Hey guys, Bryan with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with a brand new microphone and some improved audio visual, and maybe the guest that I've been the most excited to bring on. I've had Nat Turner, I've had the Card Ladder dudes, I've had NBA players on here, but today I've got the real Rodman Martinez, one of the biggest and the baddest collectors, period, in the world, and specifically a massive Leo Messi soccer card collector. Rodman, welcome to the channel, man.
Bryan, thank you for having me. Wow, I'm humbled. Thank you for having me. I mean, why did we wait so long? I mean,
I don't know. Do you remember the first time we met in person?
Yes, of course.
That was the funniest thing ever. My wife, who's never been to a card show, brought her down to Dallas. We're in the Starbucks the morning before the first day, and we walk in there, and I run into you. I knew what your face looked like, but I'd never met you in person. I was like, well, what are the odds? Rodman, for those of you who are just tuning in, is from Honduras, and I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which are not exactly near each other in proximity. Man, I am excited to get you on the channel. You are legitimately, I can honestly say you are a one of one in the hobby. No one has got the story that you're about to tell us, and I am super thrilled to share it with the audience because I have a ton of Jordan collectors, but you know I dabble in soccer, Rodman. I dabble. So I've got some soccer collectors as well, but primarily the Jordan people.
With the wrong players, but you do.
Yeah, that's right. So I do mess with the wrong players. I get it, but I've dipped my toes in the messy waters. But the people are going to want to do an intervention. They're going to want to send a medical team down to Honduras and ask you why you sold all your Jordans. But we're going to talk through that, and we're going to see if there's any way to pull you back with us. So we'll see how it shakes out. Honduras.
I came in 2 years too late because probably if we would have done this 2 years ago, I would have had Jordans to show. Sadly, I only have Messi's right now. So,
well, the price point on Messi 2 years ago was much better than it is today, right? To get in.
Of course, yeah. I mean, there was like everything was very high 2 years ago, but
yeah,
since he won the World Cup, everything like kind of like sustained on most of the like big cards. But you know, a lot of like every other card has dropped, so it's not. He's not immune to that as well.
Sure. Nobody's immune. No. MJ, Messi, they all got hit by the correction. There's no doubt about that. It's what they're doing now that really is what matters. But let's do this. I'm going to try to stay organized. That's not my strong suit, but I want to kind of work chronologically. I don't want to hear, about your childhood in Honduras, but I want to start with the fact that you tell me if I'm wrong. You were probably one of the 15, 20 biggest Michael Jordan card collectors in the world.
I don't know the exact number, but I know I had like really key cards from him. You know, the PMGs, rubies, like all the really nice inserts, the jambalayas, the legacies, and all that. Like, I mean, you know all of this, right?
Yeah, I do know it. That's why I'm trying to get you to agree with me. I know you were. I know you don't want to say you were. Let's just say you were a big fish in the Jordan world, for sure. I was looking up at you for sure, and I was kind of watching what you did, how you did it. I would ask questions. So you were a great consult for me. I mean, you were one of, like, just like a Frankie, just like a Josh Dawson, and like a Stanley. You were right there on that list of folks that I could reach out to and ask dumb, stupid, newbie Jordan questions to, and you were always real gracious with your time and super helpful on bringing me up, almost bringing me up from a baby to a little bit more mature Jordan collector. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is, when I started chasing Jordan, I was 2013. So the market was totally different back then. There weren't I mean the way social media has impacted the market is really groundbreaking, because back then we had forums. I don't know if you were collecting back then, but all the OGs used to collect, and how we would share this hobby with other people, it was through forums, and that was like the main source for content, for knowledge. Like if you wanted to like really go deep into anything related to collecting, you would find like really good threads there, like very informative, and also would open what I would say was like the first gate to actually meeting other collectors.
Yeah.
Like you had the messages, and you would eventually slide into other forum members' messages, and start building relationships with other collectors. And obviously, through those threads is how I met most of the collectors that are active and are well respected nowadays, like all the Spinotrons, the Josh Johnsons, the Chris Hoge, like they call him, but it's Chris McGill. And like that's how we used to share that. So we learned from the beginning that the only correct way of growing the market was actually sharing the knowledge. And I was always welcoming with other MJ collectors. It's like if you ask Chris, I think we started the first chat for MJ collectors 11 years ago. And it was first initially it started off, I believe it was in Messenger, the Facebook Messenger.
Facebook Messenger, right.
That's where it was born initially, and then we migrated eventually to Instagram, and we found a way to get like a very unique group of like 10-15 collectors that ended up being like the best collectors in the world. And we shared all those moments of just having amazing mail days and just finding these hidden gems that we would chase. Like the scenario was totally different. It's like nowadays you can just wait for the next auction and just buy the card. Back then you wouldn't see these cards surface. It's like you really had to like network and like dig deep into like other people's like could you imagine like waiting for a reply on a DM on a forum? It's like
right. Or not have even not. I mean, Facebook was sort of there, but it wasn't what it is today. The Instagram certainly wasn't.
Yes.
So
you would have to resort to emails or just asking around and eventually finding who actually owns a card that you've been chasing.
Well, let's also say the show circuit wasn't what it is. Like there wasn't a show. There's a damn big show. Like it seems like almost every weekend, Rodman. And I don't even know how, and we're going to get into this, but like you live in Honduras. How in the hell are you competing on an even plane? No offense to Honduras, but it's like Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's like if I, walk around for the next 48 hours, I'm not going to meet one person that does what I do. And I would assume it's probably similar, and maybe even more so in your case, living in Honduras, is that there's just not a lot of people that do what you do in the hobby. Certainly not at the level, but even sports card collecting. What is that like in Honduras? Is there enough down there? I mean, what is it like? Compare it to something.
It's just a handful, to be honest. And back then, it was only me, to be honest. It's taken a while for me to meet other people that are actually collecting, or I mean, there's levels to this. It's like you can find a couple of people that just I got a couple of cards when I was a kid, and that's about it. But to be actively like chasing or actively active in the community, it's totally different.
How did sports cards find you? How did Michael Jordan card collecting find you in Honduras? There's got to be like something. I don't know if you watched them on TV and then you went out and did it find you, or did you find it? Like, talk me through that. How did that happen?
Okay, so Jordan, he took the sport worldwide, and
Yes.
he put NBA on the map, and like all the kids when I was like in second grade, third grade, I was probably around that grade or age when I was like 7, 6, 7, 8 when he started winning like 90s from his first three-peat. So
Yeah.
what do you, I mean, all our classmates in a way figured out how to enjoy the sport, like build up a fandom or a following towards the Bulls first, and obviously Jordan. And I had actually one classmate that he brought some cards because he had an older brother who was actually collecting. So he kind of like gave him a couple of cards. So he brought him to school, and I was really interested in it, and it was like, wow, Jordan on a cardboard. It's like that. It's cool. So I started asking him like, where did you get him? And it's like, well, I got him from my brother. And it's like once we got back to his house, one day we asked him, and he's like, well, her mom actually worked for American Airlines, so she would travel every week. So her having access to a couple of packs on a weekly basis was not a problem. So
that's the story. I knew there had to be a story, brother. I knew it.
That's how it initially started. So my mom would give her like money weekly, and she would come back with packs, and we would open them together, and that's how it started. And then somehow a couple of years later, there was like a convenience store that would bring like US made products. Okay. So my mom would go every week there to make some shopping, and I would tag along and make sure to come back with a couple packs. And they would bring like the OG stuff, like the stadium clubs, like early tops, early stadium clubs, and that's what I would collect. I mean, I would just rip packs and hope for a Jordan. Once I had it, put it in a binder, and that was it.
That's it. And then eBay, of course, changed the world. I think that's the biggest change to our hobby was eBay. I know Instagram changed it, and card pricing data like Card Ladder and Market Movers changed it, and social media changed it, but nothing changed this hobby like eBay, in my opinion. Am I right on that? That especially for Hondurans, 100%. I would gotta believe that opened up a whole new world for you.
Yes, and it totally changed not only my ability to acquire cards, but it also opened like the gateway or the rabbit hole. Because when I got back my cards when I was an adult, I got my cards back when I got married. My mom was cleaning the closet, typical story. She called me and she's like, what do I do with your stuff? And I came back, and it's like, I started digging and see, okay, is this stuff worth anything?
Yeah.
Where did I end up? I ended up in eBay, and it's like, oh my God, there's so many cards in here. And I eventually ended up buying more. And it's like,
you were going to sell them, and then you're like, well, let me
buy a $20 card. And then it's like, I'll buy $100 card next time. And it's like, and then you start like just buying like crazy.
So give me let's since we want to talk about this amazing, unparalleled, one-of-one transition from ultra high-end Jordan collector to I'm not a Messi expert, but I know you are an ultra high-end Messi collector as well. I don't know where you rank in that world, but I know you matter. Let's start with the Jordan part. Give us, for example, because most of the people watching are going to know the cards that you're about to name. Give us, for example, maybe your 3 or 4 biggest Jordan cards that you own specifically. And then we can that's our beginning. That's our before picture. And then we're going to go to our after picture. We're going to start talking about some Messi and talking about some soccer cards.
Yeah. Okay. So I used to own the 97, 98 Precious Metals Universe Championship PMG.
Okay.
That was in a BGS 9. I used to own the 98 Rubies as well. Jambalaya 9.5. At one point I used to own 5 of the 7 Legacies. Let's see what else.
You just named
98 PMG as well.
Yeah. The gold. I just got that. I just recently attained that. You just named 8 tier 1 cards. So do you own any of those cards right now? Rodman, okay, so the question everybody's going to want to know is, what Jordans do you have left? Because people are going to try to track you down in Honduras. They know you're selling. They're going to try to track you down. You better say you don't own any. Otherwise, you're going to get phone calls and comments and messages. Do you own any Jordans?
No, I don't. I actually, the only Jordans I own, listen, Brian, the only Jordans I currently own, are the ones that are in my binder or have been in my binder for past 30
the 90s
years?
yeah
30 years
30 years
30
yeah
years. Yeah, those are the only Jordans.
Do you have any PMGs in that binder?
Let me double check.
It is funny, Robin. Like every once in a while, you'll get some obscure post on Instagram, and it'll be a reel of some dude in Asia or some dude in some country, and they flip through a binder, and it's like, that's a net assets, that's a PMG, that's a credentials. What the hell are you doing with those cards in that binder? And I want to rip them out and send them off to PSA right away. But everybody collects differently, man. Which is why this is going to be a really great episode. Okay, so you were I consider that at or near the very peak of the Michael Jordan mountain. You named some of the greatest Michael Jordan cards in the world. And so what caused the transition? What light bulb went off? Was it driven by money? Was it because, I'm assuming in Honduras, tell me if I'm wrong, soccer 1, baseball 2, basketball 3?
Soccer 2, soccer 3.
Soccer.
It's
then why don't y'all produce any good soccer players?
That's a mystery, but yeah. It is what it is. We haven't been to a World Cup in past two, 3 World Cups, so it's sad. I know.
Who is the best Honduran soccer player ever?
Ever? Probably, to my liking, his name is Carlos Pavon.
Okay.
He made it to Europe and probably Mexico. He wasn't that big internationally. We've had other players that have had a better career.
Yeah.
But just by he was a striker and all that. I prefer him over the rest. But we haven't had like big figures, to be honest.
But that's the sport. If you grew up in Honduras, that's the sport kids gravitate to. Like in America, it's kind of always transitioning. Football's really big. Obviously, it's much bigger here than anywhere else. Soccer's worldwide. Basketball's worldwide. I think soccer is the #1 growing sport in America because so many different types of kids can play it. You don't need X amount of money, although we have a pay-to-play regime system here, which is really screwing us from trying to catch up to the rest of the countries. But man, what do you need? A ball and in a local park? Basketball, the same thing. Football, you got to buy pads, you got to buy a helmet. Baseball, you got to buy a glove, you got to buy, maybe catcher's gear, mask, whatever. There's no doubt soccer's growing big here, man. Did you grow up playing soccer?
Worldwide.
What's that?
It's the #1 sport.
Well, it's not even close, is it? I don't think it's even remotely close. And so I've always said, people are like, when is soccer going to blow up? And I say there's a couple of factors to consider. You know more about this than me, but this is my take on it. It is the biggest sport in the world. It dwarfs football. It's not even the conversation. It's not even close. I mean, American football. So soccer football is the biggest sport in the world. The problem is, I would say the vast majority of collectors, I don't want to say the majority of collectors, but maybe it's the majority, are in the United States of America, where soccer is still a fledgling sport. So we're trying to grow the sport here. So we're trying to connect collectors in the United States with the biggest sport in the world. And that's happening, and that's synthesizing over an amount of time. But there's one problem that nobody talks about. There are collectors in other parts of the world, specifically in Europe. Obviously, we know Asia collects soccer, and it is growing definitely abroad unquestionably for sure. Outside the U.S., soccer card collecting is. But the issue was soccer sticker collecting, right, was first. Soccer sticker collecting was the thing to do, not soccer card collecting. So how do we so now you've got, not only do you have to bring cards and soccer together, you got to convince these old dudes with all this money that have been buying stickers their whole life that, hey, you need to start buying cards and stop buying stickers. And that's not an easy sell, man. So it's almost like the sticker collecting is kind of slowing down that transition and that synthesization of soccer and card collecting. What are your thoughts on all that, generally speaking, and where the soccer card?
I agree with what you said, but there's I think U.S. was definitely lagging in respect to soccer. It's like, I remember when Panini brought out 2014 Prism, all you read at forums, it's like, soccer doesn't have any collectors. It's not going to stick. It's not going to work. And it's like, it was very discouraging if you would go back to like the initial threats regarding to soccer. It's like,
Sure.
there was a lot of like, I don't know, how do you say that? It's like, it's very how do you call that? Like, I lost the train of thought. But the thing is, like, just because it's a big sport, it doesn't have to necessarily translate on the same ratio
Yeah.
to collectors, because cricket supposedly it's bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have like a collector fan base. But I know soccer it's growing. But if you go back to like what Panini has done for soccer in the US, it's tremendous, because it definitely like started it off, which it was something that it was needed, because prior to 2014, it was only European products. All the Mega Cracks, all the Monday Chromos, and that was about it. It's like you wouldn't have like regular products coming out and starting to build this. And that's why, because we're derailing a little bit about here, but I want to point this out, because I think it's very interesting regarding to the soccer market, is that since Panini was just initially testing out the market, all the initial products, most of them were just like one and done. They did it 1 year and they didn't bring it back next year, because they were like trying it out, and just not like how Topps is operating right now. Topps is just like building new products and boom, boom, boom. And they're coming back next year. Panini was just like testing it out. And that's why the soccer, like collecting, it's very interesting and unique, because you have like this hidden gems that were just produced 1 year, and and they weren't produced again. So you have like Flawless, for example, that I have here. It's like you have this set that came out in 2016 with game used and on-card autos. We just had Dynasty come till this year. That's how long it took us to actually get another product with something so basic for NBA or NFL.
Yeah,
or
we take it for granted in NBA and MLB and NFL, and for soccer, that's a big deal. Yeah, because I've kind of started to migrate a little bit into soccer here and there, and like everything I see is shiny, 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 shiny. And then when you post something, I'm like, man, I've seen a million flawless patch autos. I mean, I'm like, what's the big deal? But in like in Messi, there's like you could carry the total number, right? Whereas like Steph Curry's got literally probably 50,000 patch autograph cards. So it's like, what's the big deal? Well, in soccer, it is a big deal. And I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out the priorities in soccer. One thing I've learned, tell me I'm not crazy here, just figuring out, and I'm not talking about like today, like Endrick and Bellingham and all that. But if you go back even as recently as like the 2000s, figuring out what the hell a player's rookie card is or sticker or what it is that people want to like reflect the rookie card is damn near impossible. And people just don't agree on it very often. It's fascinating. And we don't have that issue in basketball. A little bit in baseball in the 90s, maybe, but really not. In football and basketball, that's his rookie year. Those are his rookie cards for the most part.
And you have like flagship products or like a RPA, for example. It's like very clear cut. It's national treasures. That's the RPA you want. That's the key or the flagship or a rookie patch auto that you want for a player. With soccer, it does not work that way. It's like we don't have like that structure already. And eventually, I hope not only manufacturers but collectors come up to a consensus about which is the main rookie cards. Because if not, you have what, 20 something or close to 30 products coming out, and each will have a superfractor, each will have a low number parallel. It's like, okay, well, so which one's going to be the key rookie for this player? In my opinion, it should be Topps Chrome. Mm-hmm. To me, that's number one product coming out. And Prism, you have the other component that we were talking about. It comes out only 4 years, every 4 years for the World Cup. It's not.
Does that make it better or worse? Does that make it more or less sought after? That's the question.
I think it should be more, because
you would think. Yeah.
Less. I mean, Messi only has what, 3 Prism cards, 3 Prism Golds, and that's it.
That's it. Well, let me ask you this question, because I've always wondered, and I get different answers from different people, but you're a perfect person to ask this to. Messi in an Argentina jersey, Messi in a Barcelona jersey. I know where Miami ranks, right? It's going to rank third. But Messi in Argentina, Messi in a Barcelona jersey, which one matters more to most Messi collectors?
I think Barcelona is one and Argentina is second.
Clear cut? You think that's consensus, or is that Rodman?
That's what how I feel. I'm not sure about if it's a consensus or not.
Yeah.
But if you go by probably price points, I'm sure a playing day card for Messi in his Barcelona will definitely go with a premium over any other Argentina.
Well, money talks.
Other than probably the 2022 Qatar World Cup Prism, for example.
Money talks. I mean, that's your answer then. Like that's how I would have answered. I didn't do the research, but I'm like, and the other thing is you may want to consider like a player like say a Kevin De Bruyne, right? Or maybe even an Erling Haaland. If you live in Norway and you're looking for an Erling Haaland card, the Norwegian jersey might mean more to you, even though they're never going to do anything internationally. Whereas if you live in England, you may not want the Norwegian jersey at all because he's not going to do anything with Norway. We don't think he is. You may want his Man City jersey more. So where you live might also dictate it. Argentinian collectors of Messi may prefer Messi in his Argentinian jersey, whereas somebody in Spain is clearly going to prioritize the Barcelona, or in America for that matter, because I have no dog in the hunt. But I know for sure I would much rather, a Barcelona card than an Argentina card. But I was just curious what your perspective was.
Most of the times, it's not only about what makes something more valuable or what collectors would think that might hold more value. It's also regarding to if you actually win with, for example, if we go back to Messi, he didn't win anything with Argentina till like 2021. So for a long time, all his Argentina cards were like priced lower than his Barcelona because he had an amazing career in Barcelona, and with Argentina, he had no major titles till 2021. So, but I know everything changed since he won that Copa America and the World Cup, and now the Copa America again. So maybe I would say for some collectors, it could be one-on-one.
Let me take you through a nightmare scenario. You ready? Let's just assume this is a hypothetical. Let's say that Argentina did not get that last World Cup and Messi wasn't the hero and he didn't have a great World Cup. And let's say he's got no World Cups to his name. Is he still the GOAT? Can he still be the GOAT? I say yes, because I don't think it's fair, because some of the greatest players that have ever played this sport may not have had the opportunity to play on an international team that's even remotely capable of winning this thing. You know what I mean? Like if the greatest player in the world came out of one of the African nations who've never really competed for World Cup titles, that's not fair to penalize that player. It is a team sport, and damn it, you only get, 3, 4, 5 games every 4 years to try to make it happen. I just think it's unfair to put that asterisk on the GOAT has to have won a World Cup. Now, Messi did it, but what if he hadn't? What if he hadn't?
Yeah, why I mean, definitely the World Cup is like the major title for any soccer player. You can ask like not a Messi fan or a Cristiano fan, just soccer fans overall.
For sure.
Definitely the World Cup is like the major trophy to own. But it's not deterrent on GOAT status, in my opinion, especially for what Messi did with just his career overall. It's like if you go stat wise, he's got the most titles. Even if you take that World Cup away, he's still the soccer player ever to win most titles. I think it's around 44 or 45 titles in his career. And then, I mean, he's the undisputed regarding to that. Goal wise, assist wise, like just the aesthetic of his playing. It's like I thought he didn't need the World Cup to be considered the best, because if you give him like the eye test and what he does on a pitch, it's like unparalleled. It's like, even I've seen footage of Pele, I've seen footage of Maradona, and I've seen plenty of footage of Messi and Cristiano and all these other great guys.
Of course.
And he always took it up a notch, and he would figure out a way, like just like create this incredible scenarios where he would find a way in between 4 or 5 defenders and just make a brilliant assist or a brilliant goal. And he just had that like magic touch that it's very, very hard. It's like those of us who saw Jordan, it's like you see that parallel. It's like he was just in the air. He was just majestic. It's like he would figure out a way to do it so elegantly, do it so artistically. Like you see LeBron, he doesn't have that. He's in the air. He's just more brute force. And Jordan had that artistic thing that he could do in the air. And if he wanted to do like really go in on you, he could dunk on you and like humiliate you. Like LeBron,
he picked and chose.
He yes, so he had it all, and he could defend, and he was like, look. So if you see that, like the overall, I'm looking more over just one title.
Yeah,
just looking at
body of work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think soccer fans are starting to realize how spoiled they were. That, and I personally, I would put Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, somewhere in the conversation, right? Some people are like, he's second. Some people are like, he's not even, top 10, whatever. Everybody's, for some reason, he's as polarizing as LeBron is, right? You love him or you hate him. Yeah. But I think soccer fans in about 3 or 4 years are going to look back and realize, oh my God, did we just go through the most fertile, amazing, where their careers coincided, the greatest that ever did it, and then another guy who's at least got an argument to be one of the greatest that ever did it. Their careers lined up. They played in the same league. They played in El Clasicos. They went head to head. They fought for Champions League. And their careers, their longevity, their health, their consistency. I mean, they were the best players. One of them or one of the other was the best player in the world for like freaking 12, 13 years. Like, that's not normal, man. That is not. It'd be like Kobe and LeBron. Like Jordan and Kobe having careers that spanned the exact same 13-year period, where every year they were fighting for the title, fighting for the MVP. It just doesn't usually work that way in sports,
No,
it's special.
It's definitely special, and I remember there was a time when, let's say, Madrid would play on a Saturday and Barcelona would play on a Sunday. And then Cristiano came with a hat trick, and then Messi next day he had to come up with a hat trick, and he did. And it's like it was that competitive, and it was like I don't think we're ever going to see something like that, because it was the competitiveness, the intensity, the matchups. It's like the Clásicos back then. Those were wars. Like you would see them today, like. It's totally different.
When you transition from Jordan, all right, so we're post Jordan. We'll let Mike have the rest of the day off. We're gonna start talking about some cards and some soccer stuff. When you transition from Jordan, you jumped into not really soccer card collecting. You jumped almost exclusively into Messi, correct?
Yes.
What's the first big Messi card you bought?
So let me come back to your question, your initial question of what was my thought process, or what made me transition into. Obviously, what I had with MJ, which was really special, and it took me a while to actually get over what I did. But to be honest, now that I have what I have with Messi, trust me, I sleep like a baby.
Yes.
But what I had with MJ was definitely, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like you spend so much time doing what we do. It's like it's really nuts. It's like we spend half our day on eBay searching for saved searches, sliding into DMs, long hours of conversations with other collectors just to try and get a card at a collector. And it's like that constant grind and everything. It's like that's why we get so attached to these cards. It's a chase of finding one, and once you get it, it's like, all right, on to the next one. And it's like that's constant dopamine rush of just like, oh, I got it now. Okay, the list continues. Got to get the other one, and it's like it never stops. So we kind of get like really addicted or hooked on this dopamine rush. So what happened, or how I would like to try and explain what happened with Jordan is everything got so expensive. I kind of felt like priced out. So it got to a point where I just it wasn't about just grind or perseverance or anything like that. It was just about price. So and I felt priced out. So I felt like, all right, what do I do next? It's like I need to feel that emptiness. It's like I don't have mail days anymore. It's like what do I do? So it took me a while. I know. I mean, it was pandemic. Everything was blowing up. It's like you're trying to like figure out which might what stone it's next to be turned, and you might find gold there or whatever. And then I started like, I don't know. I just lost my track as a collector and just was trying to chase the next big thing in my hopes of turning that into another Jordan. Because I figured like, all right, so I'm gonna get into this and try and do some flipping and put that into a nice MJ. But in the interim or in that process, I kind of got lost and got frustrated, to be honest, because I felt priced out. My dream card has always.
This was what year, Robin? What year?
So that was 2021 when it was probably hitting peak market.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, late 2021. It's like, yeah, it was hard, in early 2022. So I don't know how I was like, all right, let me try have fun with Messi. It's like, all right, let me try and get a couple of his cards. And then I fell into that rabbit hole with Messi. So it was like, all right, there's so much to be done here with Messi. It's like, all right, how can I go from being a top, I don't know, you said top 20 or top, I don't think I was that close, but I was probably
relevant.
top 50 MJ.
Relevant, yes.
50, but I was relevant. I had something like very unique. So I was like, how can I turn that into probably the best Messi collection ever, or just probably top 5? I would feel.
You knew, so you were going like you were like 100 miles an hour. You weren't like, let me buy Messi and see if I like this card.
No,
you were like, I want to be the best.
That's how that was my main goal.
Yeah.
To be honest. So I kind of sold a couple like lower tier Jordans just to fund those Messis, and I was having so much fun getting those Messis and starting to build that up. And this was kind of like falling apart in a way, and it felt incomplete. And it's like, all right, I can't buy one back again because everything keeps blowing up and Messi stuff keeps feeling or making more sense to me.
Right.
Like if I get in right now, he's not even retired. There's so many things that could happen. I started like doing the research and figuring out like what happened, like what I showed you with Flawless, what I can show you with products like this. Like
you want to use the camera? You want to put it on the screen?
Sure. Let's do that.
See if we can figure it out. Let's see, look at this sick technology on the Cajun Cardboard channel. There you go. Rodman showed me this. I'm not taking any credit. Talk me through what we're looking at.
You have unique products like this. Like I would. First thing that comes to mind when I see a card like this is like this could be like a referencing MJ card. This could be like a 90s Jordan auto, like the first autos. Actually, these 2013 icons were his first licensed autos. And this
product is that? I can't see.
It's called Icons. It was launched in Japan, and it's a company from the UK. So you see stuff like this, and it's like, okay, if you're in early on these, it's like what could these be worth in 10 years? It's like if you could reference to cards like the 90s MJ autos, and then you go with superfractors. It's like, okay, a playing day superfractor. He Topps Chrome came in 2017. Messi played his last game with Barcelona, I believe it was 2021, late 2021. Then he went to PSG. So we only have about 4 to 5 superfractors or playing day superfractors. So I came back to Nat Turner, and it was like every time I went to his photo bucket, or I don't remember what was it, and I started drooling about his 101s, and it's like I kind of like painted a picture in my mind. It's like, all right, that's what it would be like holding or actually adding a superfractor or a 101, a playing day 101 for Messi right now. It's going to be nearly impossible to get in 10 years or 15 years from now. So that was my thought process, and that's how I started like getting like really, really deep into my Messi collection.
Now I know what we're looking at here. This is the one that I do know. I know one set, and that's it. Yeah.
All right. You know, 2017 Top Chrome initial year. This is one of the most sought after the superfractor. Obviously, that would be number one. And after this, what would be the next best thing? red refractors out of 10. And then along the lines of what I've learned from MK, what's another key card? I mean, I couldn't buy his PSA 10 when it was $10,000 back in 2016, 2017, when I should have bought it. Now it's what, 300K? What's the next big thing? All right, let's get his main rookie card with a on card auto. This is only a pop 9. So it's even rarer than his.
There you go, Rodman. There's your last sale, 322 grand.
Wow, it went up.
Yep.
And then you have beautiful cards like this, like the Spotlight, which were only produced 1 year as well. Really beautiful gold auto, and no parallels on this. Very condition sensitive. This is the only 10 auto and highest grade BGS 8.
Rodman, what was the very first Messi card you bought? The first one.
It was probably a random, like a refractor. It was just something basic, to be honest. It wasn't like anything big.
When did you've obviously narrowed your focus? You know, I say as collectors, we always try to establish criteria. Otherwise, we're going to spend ourselves into oblivion. You've got to draw a line somewhere. So for Jordan, I don't collect autos per se. I don't collect, memorabilia, autographs. I don't collect post wizards. I don't collect the exquisite stuff. It would price me out. It's already expensive enough. I got to draw the lines. You drew the line. Where is the print run? What's the number where you're just, I'm not interested? Is a orange serial number to 25? That's not me. I'm red. Are you even gold? Do you even mess with gold in soccer? For most people, gold is usually to 50.
Well, I do collect golds, but
okay,
definitely reds is my cup of tea.
Yes.
Like really low numbered out of 10 or out of 5. Those are the ones that I chase. This is, for example, 2018 Prism Gold.
2018, yep. The Prisms really hit hard, Rodman. I'm dead serious. 24, even 2018, 2014. I keep looking at that, the light blue laser from, 2014? No, it's 2018 also, right? The light blue laser, that color match. You got it right there. Oh, there you go. There's your select. Yeah. Yep. Does the select in soccer have the different levels like it does in every other sport? Yeah.
Yes, they have the Field Devil, Terrace, and Mezzanine. So this is his latest gold prism, which is from the Copa America.
You have any duplicates? Are you stacking anything at all, or do you?
I have a couple duplicates, like some of his Topps Chrome reds. If I see him pop up, I usually stack up a second one and hopefully try and use that towards a trade or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm working on the 2017 Topps Chrome Rain, which I'm not going to get it right, but I've got a spreadsheet with the 2017 Topps Chrome Rainbow, Messi and Ronaldo together. I want to try to collect them together. And so, you got your promos and you got your refractor, then your variations, and then, your purples, your blues, and all that. So I'm kind of
you chose the right year, because
I did.
I think 2023, 24 has like 100 and something parallels.
I know. I know. Yeah. So
2017 has how many parallels is that?
Oh, in 2017, my spreadsheet's over there. I would say maybe, I don't know, colors. I mean, you also got the variation, the promo, and all that crap. I would say maybe there's like 8 or 9 total. Maybe, is that right?
Yeah, there aren't that many.
Yeah.
It's actually very limited. They don't do them like that anymore.
I for whatever reason, again, all I know is basketball. But when I got into the soccer, 2017 Topps Chrome Soccer reminds me of 2012 Prism basketball. It's the first year of a really important product, and it's a limited number of parallels, and it's really low pop in PSA 10. So everything that appealed to me about 2012 Prism, which I think is one of the best modern basketball sets in the world, appeals to me about 2017 Topps Chrome. Who's your second favorite player in the world?
I think second favorite. Wow, that's a great question. Kind of caught me off guard there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, the reason I asked that is I see you like wandering off the Messi path a little bit here and there. I see you posting stuff. I know what you're thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I led you right to it.
Shit. Yeah. You caught me off guard there. But yeah, you're right. I'm really like getting into his cards, and I think he's really special. I think
he is
he's got
special. He's
something
already
very unique.
proven it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time you see him do something, it's like he's the first. He's the youngest to do this. He's the youngest to do that. He's the youngest to do you know. He's the first player under this age to do blah blah blah. It's always something, which is a pretty good sign. And I mean, damn man, is he already the best player on Barcelona? He might be.
I think he is. Yeah,
he might be
all around best player for sure.
And he's a baby. He hasn't even come close to approaching physical maturity. You know what I mean?
He just turned 17. How crazy is that?
Yeah. Yep.
It's amazing. Yeah.
I know. That's cool. Okay, so I got some more questions for you. So your best Messi card, was it the Superfractor you just showed us? Is that your favorite one? Is that the best one?
No, it's got to be this one. Let me show you.
Let's go.
If I find it quickly. Give me a second. I had a stack, but I got it. Oh, shit. Where is it?
Do you live in Tegucigalpa? You know, it's my favorite word to say.
San Pedro Sula.
Okay. That doesn't mean much to me.
It's got to be.
Oh, my gosh. No way.
It's got to be the best one, yeah.
You know, I opened 2 cases of that, and I think I got maybe 3 cards in the whole case that was centered. It was terrible. It was awful, Rodman. I mean, I ripped, and I was so excited, and I just started to get into soccer, and it was Prism, and I knew it, and I was just super excited. Back then, it was like we were chasing Gavi was the guy, right? Gavi was real hot back then before the injury. And but I was chasing other Bellingham, other players as well. But the cards, the centering left or right was so atrocious. After I opened that case, I was like, I know where the pop reports are going to be on this. They're going to have really low gem rates on these cards. I like the set though. All the product, I like the inserts, some of the dual inserts. You know,
something happened with Panini's QC after 2022. Clearly. Everything has gone downhill.
Really, since then, okay,
really bad. It's like I don't know what's going on, but the QC has dropped tremendously.
Messi's true rookie card. It was the one you flashed, the one that we've got right here on the screen, yes?
The one that had the auto, the Mega Crash.
Right here?
That's it.
So there's Messi's true auto, right? And that one's been on an interesting journey. By the way, here's something we can share. You knew this, but I'm going to show it with everybody else. Here's Messi's card index and card ladder just over the last year. That's a pretty noticeable trend, up 21%. And again, the index for Messi is pretty small. It's 134 total cards, so it's not super reflective. It certainly doesn't reflect the stuff you're touching, right? Obviously, you might only have 2 or 3 cards that are in the index because your stuff is big time stuff. But it's interesting. Messi adjusted just the same way Jordan did. The greatest soccer player of all time. You can see this big downward trend. We hit a bounce. We bounced off the floor, and it looks like it's starting to be a slow and steady, more organic, more thoughtful up and to the right, which is what we want to see. As card collectors, we don't want to see what's going on with, and I'm going to go ahead and name this card. I don't know why I'm bringing this into this video, but what are your thoughts on the Star 101 and the 86 Fleer and the Star 101 prices shooting up, post, PSA deciding to grade it and all that stuff?
All right.
Hold on. You don't have to answer this. I don't think people are going to find you in Honduras. These Star people are crazy, but I don't think they're going to send people down to Honduras to get you. So you can tell the truth.
I mean, they both have a case on why they could be. I mean, why each one could be considered the rookie card. But if you go by collecting 101, it has to be the 86, just because it's packed cold and it doesn't come from a manufactured set, which wasn't distributed in boxes and packs.
Yeah.
So that's one part of it. The second part of it is like I can also see a case which, it is a licensed product. It was the year in which MJ was a rookie. It was launched as his first actually appearance in a card. So I think both have compelling evidence on why it should go each ways. But I don't know. It's just the collector should eventually find that consensus.
Yeah.
Whether it's
they're not
on the prices or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny. It's funny. After 40 years, man, the hobby is still split on that card. The one thing and this is the way I kind of keep the Star people off my back. I don't own either one of those cards right now for the first time in a long time. But both of those cards have a tremendous amount of meaning in any Jordan collector, regardless of your perspective of what the true rookie card is. Both those cards, in some grade or another, should probably find their way into your Jordan collection if you're a serious Jordan collector.
You can see it this way. For example, when I was introduced into the Mickey Mantle rookie card, everyone thought of the 52 tops, and that's not his rookie card.
51 Bowman.
51 Bowman.
Yes.
But what's the consensus? What's everyone like preferring? It's actually the tops. So it is what it is. I don't know. Like you said, I mean, which one is the most how would I say, like
in demand
or recognized? I would say it's the 86. To be honest, even though I know it got pushed a lot. I mean, a lot of people had an agenda with it in the COVID boom, but prior to that, it was always the 86 fleer.
Who's the biggest Messi card collector in the world right now? Number one. Yeah, who's the biggest? Who's the biggest and the baddest? Who's the guy that you would go to, you know, who's the guy that you wish you saw an Instagram post saying, I've decided to sell my Messis? Who's that guy? That's what I want to know.
You know, there's a thing with Messi. A lot of the good cards are in Asia, and those guys are very quiet. That's the thing. They're not posting every week like I do. It's like
Asia's not around the corner from Honduras either.
No. But I'm pretty sure it's got to be one of these guys in Asia. It's like they got like really early onto these cards. It's kind of unfair. It's like if you go on Card Ladder and look at those comps, it's really hard.
Yeah,
they would go for pennies on the dollar.
Soccer's come back, right? It's come back from 2021 prices, but damn, if you had seen what soccer prices were in like 2016, 17, it was almost like cheating. It was almost like people were just handing us money, and I'm over here trying to, you know, buy Giannis cards, and I'm like, God, why didn't I just go buy the hell out of Messi and Ronaldo? It was there staring me in the face, like just like in 1986 when I was buying Donruss baseball cards instead of 86 Fleer. You know, here it is again. I could have just bought into the soccer market. I love soccer. I'm a soccer dad. I got kids that play. I watch it all the time, every day. Why didn't I collect it? I don't know.
That's why I never go there. It's just with same thing.
No regrets.
Jordans. I remember those days when you would say like, oh, I'll wait for the next one, and it'll probably come down, and it would never come down. It's like I passed on a 97, 98 red PMG for like what 10, 12K when they were probably selling for 7, 6. I should have bought it at 12, right?
Yeah. Well,
next time Chris beat me to his red PMG, which I think he paid like 20K.
Yeah.
So it's like you just had to pull the trigger.
Rodman, I remember you messaging me saying, "Hey, do you know of any out there?" You were still, it was when you were maybe before you transitioned, obviously, because you were messaging me. You're like, "You know anybody out there who's got one that's looking to sell it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I'll try my best," but because I had just gotten one, and I think I posted it, and you're like, "I'm gonna get one." I think that was before.
That still is my ultimate grail. I'll hopefully, I mean, I'll still be active collecting. Hopefully, I'll turn around someday in the future and come back to MJ. I mean, I'm not closing that door, definitely.
No, you got to come back. You can do both. I'm doing both. Again, I'm not doing both of them at your level, but I'm doing both. And you're right. You know, the feelings that you described when you decided to transition over into Messi, I'm feeling it. It's not to the point where I don't want to collect Michael Jordan basketball cards, because I've still got a lot of goals that I've set that I want to accomplish. But I'm feeling that pinch where I used to be a grade snob. So I used to be BGS 9.5 or PSA 10. That's what I want. You know, if I'm going to buy a legacy collection, it's got to be a gem copy. And that is not financially feasible anymore. It's just not. Unless something drastically changes in my life, I'm not going to be able to do that. And so I've adjusted. And so while everybody's chasing that PSA 10 premium, which you see it in soccer just like we see it in basketball, but in Jordan especially, it's bananas. I've started to dip into the PSA 8 rare, crazy rare stuff. PSA, even BGS 8, rare stuff. PSA 9 is my favorite grade right now because I think long-term it's going to be a fantastic grade to own for the Jordan stuff. But I'm buying the non-PSA 10 stuff now as fast as I possibly can, because at some point people are going to figure out, a 50-1, a 25-1 ratio from a PSA 10 to a PSA 9 for the same rare Jordan card, that does not make sense, in my opinion. Are you worried about overprinting in soccer? Are you noticing that the number of products, the quantity of parallels, the number of cards printed, are you noticing that going up year after year? I feel like it is. You know it better than me.
It's getting out of hand, to be honest. It's like product after product. And the thing with soccer is right now, they both have licenses. So Panini has and Top. So they're just pushing so much stuff out there. But I'm buying not Messi, but I'm buying like Pedri's, Gavi's, like all the current players. But for Messi, I'm sticking to playing day. I'm just like not touching anything after he left Barcelona, and I'm just concentrated on getting his key cards when he was active playing for Barcelona. So
that makes sense. What is your favorite?
You have to narrow it down. If not, it's like
it'll eat you alive. That's what happens when your GOAT plays 20 years or whatever. He's playing forever. What are you going to do? I mean, they're still technically playing years. Just because he's wearing a pink jersey, he's still playing. But you got to draw the line somewhere. Rodman, what's your favorite soccer product?
Topps Chrome.
Easy, huh?
Easy.
Yeah. What is? Do you ever rip wax? Do you rip soccer wax?
Every now and then. Yeah.
You got an addiction? Is it an addiction, or is it just to scratch the itch every once in a while?
Yeah. Just a couple boxes a year, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
A couple breaks here and there when I'm bored, but I don't have any addiction to that because at the end I prefer to stick to singles. It's.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I don't feel anxiety when I order or when I buy an MJ, tier 2 hierarchy card. I don't feel any anxiety, even if it's expensive. But you know why I feel anxiety today? Because our friend Josh Dawson, I bought a Merlin hobby case from him.
Oh,
I'm like, why? The day after, I'm like, Robin, why'd I do that? I know what's going to happen. I'm going to chase Lamine Yamal. I'm not going to I'm going to get a base and then one refractor, and that's it.
Going to start it out. It's gonna make you start collecting.
Well, Merlin's my favorite product. I love Topps Chrome. I really like Merlin.
Show you a nice Merlin.
Oh, show me a good Merlin, please. Yeah.
Messi only has one playing day for. The red. His last year. Yeah, his last year in Barcelona.
What's a card like that? We rarely talk about price on the channel, but like generally speaking, what's a Messi? That's red serial number to 10.
These are usually, I don't know, like 2-3K.
Yeah, that's what I was going to guess.
Maybe a 10 would be like 4 or 5K.
Yeah.
They're still pretty attainable.
It is. And he's got the greatest uniform because red and blue, not that you would ever, dip to the level of buying a blue parallel. I would never put that on you, but that is a color match. If you needed to justify a cheaper Messi card, you could say, hey, the blue's a color match and the red's a color match. That's funny, man. Okay, three last questions. Any advice for an aspiring, specifically Leo Messi collector? Any advice, like just general advice? If you could give advice to somebody who's maybe watching this video and they comment below, hey, I've been thinking about getting into Messi. I want to jump in. What's one basic piece of advice that you would give to them?
I think I'll go back to what I said earlier. It's like, what I think will hold value would be those initial days. I mean, anything from what we call modern soccer would be considered from 2014 and upwards, and anything prior to 2014 would be like modern. I mean, would be like the initial products, like we were calling the European products. So after modern, we have like what we called ultra modern. That would be like that turn between 2020 and onwards, and they started like really hitting the presses. So there's so many nice products between 2014 and 2020. If you could focus on those years, I mean, you're gonna find gold, to be honest. Because
super low print run for those watching. I know for a fact the print run from 2014 to 2019 was, in comparison to baseball, basketball, football, like crazy low, super low. Especially if you stick to the colors and serial numbers and stuff like that. What about just general advice for what do you say to the people out there that are into prospecting for soccer? I mean, you're kind of prospecting, but I mean, you're buying a guy that's a can't miss. You know what I'm saying? Like you're buying a guy that's can't miss. But Robin, you're buying into a market where we know Lamine Yamal is going to have, 2 million rookie cards, 1.5 million rookie cards. So you must be limiting your interest in him. Either you're saying, you know what, the hell with it financially. I like the kid. I'm just going to buy his cards. Or you're going to draw, parameters around the types of Lamine Yamal cards that you're going to look at.
Well, I first thing is be cautious, because we've all been burned. I remember when I had a stint when I used to like get into like rookie cards of current NBA players, and every time I would get burned, I would be like, I should have just bought a nice Jordan. It's like it always takes you back to the GOATs, or to the key players in the sport, be Ronaldo's or the Messis or Mbappe's, or these guys that have more solid or collecting fan base, also have actually done good for their careers. Because speculating with youngsters is very tough. I got burned with Ansu Fati. It wasn't nice. Luckily, I didn't go like really hard on his stuff, but I did get burned. It's like, so if you're getting into prospecting, know that your chances of getting burned are very high. And at the end, it's best just like circle. It'll all circle back to the GOATs. So just keep focused and keep collecting Messi or Ronaldo and more established players than just speculating on rookie cards.
Who's got a better career when it's all said and done, Mbappe or Lamine Yamal?
Yeah. It's just too early, to be honest.
Oh, no, that's why I'm asking. Well, if it wasn't early, I'd know the answer. I'm asking you. I wanted to hear what you have to say. Say it. I know what you want to say.
Lamine is on he already has the Euro. He's 17. He's probably going to play at least 3 or 4 World Cups. And Spain is looking really solid. I don't want to jinx what he's doing with Barcelona, because I'm getting excited, but I've been there before. And
they look good right now, dude. They look really good.
So I'm taking it slow. And but if he takes us back to glory and wins us a UCL championship, that would be really massive for Barcelona, because we haven't won since 2015.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have a tremendous career. His talent is, I don't know. I don't want to say it. It's not like it reminds me of Messi, because they don't necessarily play the same, but
they don't. Yeah.
But he's just like doing something really special at a young age, and I think that speaks volumes.
You know what I notice when I watch him play? He's not forcing anything. He doesn't force the game. You know what I mean? And he's a lot like Messi in that way. He doesn't force the game. He lets the game happen. He always seems to be in the right place, and he is very precise with his left foot. Very freaking precise. What are your thoughts on Endrick? And then I'm gonna let you go.
Endrick, I just think of something like we were talking, like he's more like brute force, like he's got that goal instinct, but he's more of a power player than a creative player. I haven't seen him create something for other than himself. So
no, I agree. That is unique in that way. It's very different.
So he could be a tremendous scorer, and he looks promising, to be honest. And I think he kind of like put a shadow on Arda Güler, which was in a way like being that substitute at the end of those last 10-15 minutes. He would bring Arda to play, and now he's bringing Endrick. So I don't know, but he looks good, but definitely not on Lamine's level.
Yeah,
not even close.
We'll see. A lot of people think his prices are damn near pushing it. I don't, for whatever reason, they are. If you ask me to pick one, I'll pick a Lamine already, because I've seen enough already to know. He's a can't miss. Like, barring injury, he's can't miss.
What about you? Would you, if you had a chance to buy an Mbappe card right now, would you put it on Mbappe or go with Lamine?
Well, what I don't like about Lamine is that he's fresh, and he is the hottest card in the world, which means there's more demand, which means prices are up. So what we've seen in basketball is, like, I think Wembanyama might be one of the greatest prospects that ever lived, but I don't own one of his cards. I wish I could, but I can't, because, logic sets in. I just can't go buy that stuff. If I had to pick, I would probably put my money into Yamal, just because I like the way he carries himself. I've watched enough footage of him on and off the field to know this kid wants to play soccer, man. And Yeah, he's going to be around for a really, really freaking long time. He really is. Because a lot of what he's doing, it's not like he's physically superior. He's not, it's not like LeBron James running through people or, Aaron Judge, 6'7", 250 pounds. I mean, he's doing it with brains and just freakish skill and really high soccer IQ. So I have a feeling his career is going to be a really, really long one. A really, really long one. So I like it. And I'm hoping to pull some. I'm going to send you pictures when I open this Merlin hobby case. I'm going to pull a red Jamal. I'm going to pull a red Jamal. That is his rookie, right? Are we still considering this his rookie? No, even though he's been playing forever, it seems like? Okay.
Still his rookie, yeah.
Okay, good. So I'll pull a red one. There's a price for everything. We'll see. We'll see if you come at me strong enough.
I'll buy it off for you.
Okay. We'll make some trades. We have one more thing I wanted to ask you, and I just forgot what it was. When's the last time you bought a Michael Jordan card?
Probably 2021.
What if a red came available? What if I text you tomorrow morning and I'm like, man, you're not going to believe this. One of my friends is transitioning into Endrick. He's selling his Michael Jordan collection. He's got a PMG red available. Do you move mountains to make that happen, Rodman? Do you even feel an urge to come back and join us?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
I mean, I've been there so many times, and I don't know. I've moved along, to be honest. It's like it's still in the back of my mind. I would love to get one back, but I wouldn't be emotional about it. I would just be more calculated about it, and just pick my moment and try and enjoy it whenever I decide to make that move.
If you see something like that,
I know they don't show up every month, but I know it's not the most unattainable card ever.
Right.
But I know I'm gonna have to show up.
You're gonna have to show up with some deep pockets
and pay top dollar to get it. So
well, look, every once in a while, this is my advice to you, right? Every once in a while, go get your binder out, flip through your binder, and that'll suppress those feelings of regret and all of the terrible things that you've done to those Michael Jordan cards by selling them out into the world. Hell, I might have some of your cards. We don't know, right? We don't know. I've been buying for 5 years and you haven't bought.
Look at these and feel better.
That's right. You can look at those. You can look at some of the best Messis in the world and feel better too as well. So, my man, thank you for joining us. I promise this won't be the last time. I want to get you on and talk more soccer with you for sure, and just talk more generally. And when is the next time you're coming to the States for a show?
Well, I was thinking about going to this Fanatic Fest in Orlando. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be there, but I'll try my best to be there. If not, probably, I don't know, maybe a Dallas show before the end of the year.
If you get,
I'll be at the next national.
I'm definitely gonna be at the next national. But if you do find a way to get to Dallas, please let me know, because I usually try to pick one a year. I got a kid stuff going everywhere, but Dallas, I got no excuse. I could get in a car and be there in 6 hours. So if you're gonna make a Dallas show, please let me know, and I'm gonna meet up with you over there.
Did you go to the Fanatic Fest in New York?
I didn't. No, it was too close after the national, and I had too much kids soccer stuff going on.
Yeah. I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Well, Bryan, thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's been a pleasure. Took us too long to eventually get it done. I want to thank you and congratulate you for what you're doing with your channel.
Oh, appreciate
I watch it on a weekly basis, even though I'm not actively, collecting Jordan, but I always enjoy your content, and I love what you're doing with the tiers. I think that's a tremendous thing for the space. It helps everyone like structure, and when there's so many cards, like it's tough to have a structure, and that's definitely helping the market. So
thank you. It's a good conversation piece as well, because not everybody agrees with it, so it's fun to talk about it. Right?
I know.
I love it.
There's always going to be a difference in opinions, but thank you for having me, man.
Yeah.
And, hope to see you in Dallas.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Thank you, Rodman. Guys, thank you guys for watching. One of the biggest and the baddest ex-Jordan collectors, current Messi collectors in the world, Rodman Martinez, the real Rodman. He's a one of one. And keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. Peace.